Call this meeting to order at 5:59.
Number six.
Yeah. Well, 6 o'clock, 6:03. All right, 6:04 on that watch, all right? There's different watches that are on different, I guess, different, a couple of seconds off or minutes. So I call this meeting to order. Roll call and establishment of quorum. Mr. Hernandez?
Mayor Hernandez present.
Diego Pérez present.
Joel Garcia present.
Javier Ramirez present.
Alexandra Flores present.
Okay, thank you, and Mayor Rivera present, so I do declare a full quorum. Next item, number 4, certified posting of agenda. Ms. Villarreal?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and council members, the agenda was duly posted as required by state law at least 72 hours prior to the start of the meeting.
Okay, and I did not see any public comments.
No,
Anything new?
none were received.
All right, thank you. I want to thank all of you for being here, taking your time, and especially you citizens. We ask that you, become more involved in your cities where you are. We need more of you. We need more good people. And so if you take anything from today's meeting, take that with you and spread it out there in your communities. All right? So thank you, Annette. Next item, we're going to jump into 8.3 to appoint judges. So if I may do so. Discussion and possible action on municipal court presiding judge and interim judges setting compensation, approving a contract, and adopting a correspondence ordinance amending fiscal
make
year
a motion.
2022.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
The motion would have to be on the nominations of the mayor.
Okay, so yeah, if you made the nomination of Judge Juan de la Garza, Roel Ramon, and Orlando Mercado.
I want to make a motion for the judges.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Questions? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. So if we want to go ahead and go through the order, and we'll go ahead and do it in that order. Mr. De La Garza?
Judge.
As we wait for the pastor's family to come here, I just want to say a few words. Before 2018, I didn't have a lot of opportunity to come to the west. So I didn't have the pleasure of meeting a lot of you before 2018. But the election that brought me here gave me a blessing. The blessing was that I got to meet a lot of you, and now I have the opportunity and the pleasure and the privilege to call many of you friends. And one of those is Pastor Juan de la Garza and his beautiful family. We've grown to become, good friends for over the years. I don't think you could have made a better selection than the pastor, Mr. Juan. Being a judge is an important thing. We have laws that we abide by, and judges are the gatekeepers of those laws. So it gives me great pleasure to be with you here tonight to administer the oath of office to my good friend, the pastor. So, Pastor, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. In the name of the authority of the state of Texas, you don't have to repeat that. I state your name.
Juan de la Garza.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Palmview Municipal Court Judge
of Palmview Municipal Court Judge
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Judge.
Yo voy a salir también.
Judge, if we can get one more within the council?
Ahora, ¿cómo le decimos? Castle Church?
Mayor, we're gonna open the floor for the newly sworn judge to say a few words.
Pues muchas, pero muchas gracias. I want to thank everyone for being here. Hay muchas cosas que podía decir en esta tarde. There's a lot of things that I could say today. Pero quiero decirles que vengo a unirme a trabajar con este gran equipo que tenemos ahora. So I'm here to come together with the team that we already have. Y agradezco mucho a nuestro mayor por darme la oportunidad de servir en esta capacidad. So Mayor, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to work in this capacity. Muchos de ustedes que ya me conocen, hemos trabajado en la comunidad de aquí de Palmview por más de 25 años. I've been in the Palmview area for over 25 years working not only with Palmview but the cities around Palmview. Esto que vamos a hacer es para ayudar a nuestras comunidades y estoy muy emocionado porque podemos en los días que vivimos ayudar a familias que realmente necesitan. There's so many broken families nowadays and we are here to help those broken families. Queremos ayudar en el área de consejo, queremos ayudar en el área de apoyo, queremos ayudar en todas las áreas posibles. So we want to support, we want to help the families. So I'm here to help and I'm here to join this beautiful team. So again, Mayor, thank you so much for the opportunity. Muchas gracias.
So I dreamt of a long time ago gonna do it for free.
Pro
He's
bono.
a graduate of La Jolla High School, 2008, wonderful product. Went to law school, and we have another young man who's also an attorney, a product of La Jolla ASD, and they didn't leave town. They came right back to Palmview, and they want to give up their heart, and we expect good things, right? And he's gonna oversee and help make sure that we're all in line, and that we're following the policies, procedures that are set out by the state, the county, and for our city. And so I want to welcome Mr. Mercado, and I believe I would love to have our current.
And I will, but I just want to add some more to what Rick's been talking about, and that is the idea of an attorney judge. An attorney judge is an actual, very skilled, not only because he knows the law, but basically, there's some issues that non-attorney judges cannot do. An attorney judge can do a lot of things, and we need one. Biggest problem we usually have as a judge, I'm being called for a DWI. The defendant refuses to submit to a field sobriety, the breathalyzer. We need a court order to draw blood. A court order blood cannot be done by me because I am not an attorney, but this gentleman can do. And that's the facility we have. There's a lot of things that he can do as an attorney judge that is specified by the state of Texas, not by us, but the procedure itself. So I am happy to have him. I just went and talked to our detectives, and they were ecstatic because calling 102 people, see if anybody can get us to sign that warrant. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We now have it. We just call, we can make it out. So, I am gonna swear him in, if you would.
Let's get his family in there.
Yes, please. Does he have his? So we can sign it, just in case if you can follow right through. Okay. Well, he's gonna, last one would be, let's go ahead and you face it off and I'll be right in front. You can do it on this side.
She can be on the side.
Right there. Your beautiful family, sir? Here you go. Thank you, my dad. Family of us, I state your name.
I, Orlando Cabo,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of office Palmview Municipal Court Judge of the state of Texas,
and will do the best of my ability to preserve,
and will do the best of my ability to preserve,
to protect,
to
to defend the Constitution
defend the Constitution
and its laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and this state,
and this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, my brother. Appreciate it. I'm gonna leave them to the picture.
One, two. I'm doing. One, two. Any words? Just a quick statement. I just
Not
wanna-
guilty?
I want to thank Mayor Villarreal for this opportunity. I'm looking forward to working with the whole team, the other judges, and using all my talent and ability to further our goals.
And you have a commission here, 5, so you'll be working with all of them,
Looking forward to working with
Get
all
to
of
know
you
them
and
too.
and gentlemen.
and your city manager here, and we got another attorney here, and who else are we missing here? So,
Pardon
city
me.
secretary here, and you'll get to know them. as we
Ramirez,
go.
I'm looking forward to working with
Yeah,
Ramirez as
awesome.
well.
Thank you too for accepting and
you.
for giving of your time.
Thank you for the
And
opportunity.
for taking it pro bono. I stress that. And thank you for giving of your time and having a big heart. So we all wanna,
Get one more photo.
is this on the record? You will reward.
Yeah. I'm not worried.
Mercado. Muchísimas gracias, Luis Mercado, por ser un hijo bueno y responsable, ¿verdad? Y hablamos un poquito, no hablo mucho con él, ¿verdad? Pero hablamos bien y va a ser bendiciones le vienen a él y a usted y a su familia. So, gracias, Miss. Ready, brother?
This is the first official duty is to swear me in. Well, not one of many. Babe? All right. I never call my wife babe. So, which is the one I'm gonna do.
All right. Your right hand. In the name and by the authority of the seal of the state of Texas, I
Rogelio Ramon,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully,
execute the duties of the office
that I will execute the duties of the office
of the city of Palmview Court
of
Judge
as a court judge
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas
and will to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
preserve, protect,
preserve and protect
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and laws
and law
of the United States
of the United States.
of this state, so help me God.
So help me God with this state.
All right, congratulations.
Well, thank you, man.
I know that, want to thank you. I know that Mr. Garcia was very instrumental in bringing you in many years ago.
Yes, he was.
Commissioner Garcia.
Yes.
And we want to continue. We don't, we want to keep
Yes.
we want to keep it going, right? Keep some experience going. But we want to bring some new
Yes.
ideas and new services to the city. And of course, breaking ground and bringing in an attorney, which has never been done.
Yes.
And bringing something that has never been, making history, good history in the city. And keeping it together.
Let me just say a couple words.
Picture?
Yes, and definitely it was Mr. Garcia who was first instrumental in bringing me in, and for that, I'm very thankful to bring that. But when you look at service, especially as a judge, it's the best thing you can do. It's service, and I think our new judge hit it right in the service. It's about service, and that is so true. When we first came in, the judges were operating on a and I remember Mr. Ramirez, we were operating just by an arraignment, and that's how you got paid. So we finally figured out, he says, it's not really working out because we call one judge, he's not available, we call another one, another one. So we finally figured out we needed to change the scheduling. So we were two judges, Judge Hernandez and myself came into the picture. So we said, look, we need to schedule where detectives know who's getting called, and then we can render that decision. We finally came into a situation where we finally got to a salary, and you're on this week, and I'm on this week. For the first time, we're gonna have 3 judges, and I do welcome the new attorney judge. He looks like he's hungry, and I like that because we're gonna utilize you, definitely. And I hear so much about you, sir, from Rick. And yes, there's one thing that I'm looking forward, we're working with you, definitely on the idea is you bring with your experience as a minister of God, you bring a lot of help to service people. We have a lot of people, a lot of domestic violence stuff. So you've come in and you've opened the right door. And I welcome you in. And I'm new to serve, I want you to Rick, here's another 4 years, and I'm willing with you all guys. You get your own. I'm only a phone call away. I am here to serve, and for me, for another 4 years, not only a privilege but an honor, because as a teacher for 32 years, my service was to young kids, forming young minds. There was a void for about 2 years. Then all of a sudden, Garcia and the rest of the commissioners came out and said, Mr. Juan, you know what? We need you here. You're a criminal justice teacher, you know the law, you know how it works. I'm not an attorney, but yet I do know. My degree was to be a chief of police in a police department. That is my degree here. I have a master's also, but the unique thing about it is that the void came full 360 when now I am servicing adults who are in trouble and helping them. So it is a privilege, and Rick, I have 4 more years to give you, and after that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'm retirement, I'm 68 years of age. but my wife keeps telling me, when are you gonna retire? You know, and the good thing about it, it's about servicing mankind. And with that, I am. Thank you.
Hey, Judge, you take pictures already?
No.
Okay. And then, real quick, I know I haven't, but I want to thank my
And I need
sister
to
and my
sign real
mom
quick.
as well for sticking by me and my wife as well, right, for sticking by me through all the thick and thin.
Oh, you're gonna take a pic? You don't wanna be over here? You're abandoning me, child?
Atrás,
Okay. Do I go back here? All right.
Mayor, que se haga atrás.
My wife for 42 years. Thank you.
Pastor and Mr. Macau.
The three judges.
Yeah, we can take a, making history here. One's in his middle. One last with all.
Hey, Benny.
Either you, and then I'll get you on the other side.
We're first.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
One more. And then get up here with us.
You know, he's the next judge out here also. He was with us, but I'm glad that he's now with us as an attorney.
The city manager.
Congratulations, Mr. Ramirez.
Where's our city manager? Mike? Getting home. Can we get Mr. Leo? He's gonna be working through him some, every now and then. All right. Thank you guys.
Always a pleasure, Pastor.
So, let's see, 6 point. No, no, no.
Sorry about that.
Tiene que ser. Andan haciendo official business. Y'all can do the arraignment after. All right. Okay, so thank you all. Very heartfelt moment here. Item 6.1, open a public hearing. Do I have at 6:29?
Make a motion.
I have a motion and a second. Questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. 6:30. Now, I said 6:29, we'll go with 6:30. We are opening a public hearing and consideration to rezone from its present designated land use zoning single-family resident to multifamily resident, South Minnesota Road Subdivision, Lot 7, 706 Maricela Street.
If you can give Rudy Flores just a minute to get to the podium.
Sure.
Hello, Mayor and
Council. Yes, this is a lot that's located on the north.
Yeah, if y'all can, we got a speaker, y'all can just keep it down a little. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, this lot's
Thank you.
located on the north side of Maricela Street, approximately 416 feet east of Minnesota Road. The lot has approximately 63 feet of frontage along Maricela and 146 feet along neighboring property for a lot size of approximately 0.21 acres. The applicant's requesting a multifamily residential to use a second structure as an apartment. All the adjacent land use in the area is single-family residential. And there were 32 letters that were sent to the residents in the surrounding 200-foot radius. And as of today, there haven't been any letters that have been returned in favor or against. After discussion, the Planning and Zoning Board recommended to deny the request to multifamily due to noncompliance with the zoning ordinance and the future land use map.
Okay, so the recommendation would be to continue as a single, not multi.
Correct.
Because that's what everybody else in the neighborhood
Correct.
has.
And there was a other option provided as far as providing them an option to apply for a conditional use permit, which it could be used as a guest home.
What was their response? Are they willing to go that route?
Yes, they were gonna look into it.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
So, do we have well, yeah, public hearing. Anything else
That
before
was
we?
it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Go ahead.
The planning and zoning board denied it.
Yes, they recommend deny. Yes.
What property is that? Maricela Street, ¿dónde mero queda esa?
Maricela Street is on south Minnesota, south of the frontage. That
South
first street,
Minnesota, okay.
south of frontage. Yes,
Oh, okay.
to the left,
Okay.
to the east side.
Okay.
Anything else before we close? Are the owners here?
No.
No? All right. So it's 6:32 and I close the public hearing. Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you.
You might want to stick around, Rudy, just in case.
Yes, sir.
All right, item 6.2, discussion and possible action to rezone from its present designated land use zoning, single-family residential to multifamily residential, South Minnesota Road, subdivision lot 706 Maricela Street. Do I have
I want to make a motion to recommend whatever planning and zoning had on denying the multifamily.
I'll second that.
a motion, a second? Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item 7,
Make a
consent
motion
agenda.
to approve consent agenda.
So for the record, I have a motion, second.
Second.
I'll take Mr. Ramirez second. Approve, for the record, approval of minutes of regular meeting held on April 5th. Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Under new business, 8.1, discussion and possible action on the election of Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor, I want to make a motion to recommend Alexandra Flores for Mayor Pro Tem.
I second that.
A motion and a second. Any questions? Better not vote nay, Commissioner Flores.
Will not.
All in favor, okay, any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. So, big congratulations.
Nomás no falte mucho, Mayor, please.
Okay, we're gonna swear her in as well? You wanna, sure? Got a Bible? We got the oath? Do you have anybody in mind?
No, I didn't know we were gonna do this. I didn't bring
What a
anybody.
surprise, eh? Sometimes the surprises are the best ones. Do you have anybody in mind here that you would like to have you sworn in?
You?
Wow, that's a surprise. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I
I,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of office of
the duties of office of
the City of Palmview, Mayor Pro Tem
the City of Palmview, Mayor Pro Tem
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States of this state,
of the United States of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Luna, you got anything? Alejandro, you want to take a picture in the middle, or you okay? No?
We need to take a picture.
No. No, I'm fine, I'm good.
We can do it and something. At another, that was quick. Esas son las bonitas, sí. Short, sweet. Seguirle para adelante. Alejandra, thank you, good luck, congratulations. And
Thank
you got a beautiful heart and a beautiful mind and a beautiful person serving in a beautiful town. I mean, you can't make, it can't be any more beautiful than that, right?
Thank you.
Well said. All right. Let me make sure here. Discuss, item 8.2, discussion and possible action on a resolution in appreciation of Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Perez. So, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, and I'm gonna go right into it, the state of Texas, this is to certify that at a runoff election held on June, wait a second here, Rick Villarreal. I'm reading the wrong one here. I'm gonna get right into this one, excuse me on that one. But, real quick, resolution number 2022-16-R, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Palmview, Texas, recognizing Jose Luis Perez for service as Mayor Pro Tem to the City of Palmview. Whereas on November 16, 2018, Jose Luis Perez was elected to the City of Palmview Council Place 2 to represent the interests of the citizens of Palmview. And whereas on November 17, 2020, Councilmember Perez was elected Mayor Pro Tem by the City Council and served until his successor was elected on June 21st, 2022. Whereas Mayor Pro Tem served in this leadership role, representing the mayor in his absence and presiding and/or facilitating meeting discussions amicably, tactfully, and respectfully, with the aim of reaching a desired outcome or direction. And whereas Mayor Pro Tem Councilman Perez serves on the Palmview Municipal Development District, PMDD, Board of Directors, Palmview Tax Increment Revenue Zone, Board of Directors, and on the City and Awasud Joint Committee. Whereas Mayor Pro Tem Councilmember Perez will continue to serve as the City of Palmview's community grows, and he was also recently re-elected to another 4-year term on May 7th, 2022. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council, the City of Palmview, Texas, Mayor Ricardo Villarreal, Jose Luis Perez, Mayor Pro Tem, Council members Javier Ramirez, Alejandra Flores, Benito Hernandez, and Joel Garcia, that Section 1, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Jose Luis Perez is recognized and commended for his dedicated service, contributions, and leadership during his tenure as Mayor Pro Tem. And Section 2, a copy of this resolution will be provided to Mayor Pro Tem Councilman Perez for his records of achievement, passed and approved this 21st day of June 2022 at a regular meeting of the City Council, by the City Council for the City of Palmview, Texas. Thank you, Mr. Perez.
I
Thank
so
you for
move to
everything.
approve the resolution.
Second.
Amen. So, we had a motion and a second. I'm not gonna question it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
But motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Perez.
I guess it's for the record, I didn't realize it, but I guess it was on November 17, where I was elected Mayor Pro Tem. That's actually my birthday as well.
Hey, happy birthday.
Oh, something to tell my kids. Because they're not gonna believe me.
And your grandkids.
I think the better one is me reading this proclamation of the City of
To
Palmview. That's gonna be a good memory. So we've had a lot of good memories. 8.4, update on capital improvement projects, including street paving, drainage, and park improvements. Staff by Mr. Leo. Sir.
Really quick, because we do
have a good workshop on Thursday that we're gonna go in-depth with the drainage and street projects. On the areas that were damaged as a result of the sewer project, staff finished veterans already. Today, we actually met with Cordia Construction to give us an estimate on South Lahoma and South Brayfogle. We know those are bigger projects to take on, so we wanna see what a price might look like. And then we'll bring that to council as a potential option, and we'll also discuss this in executive session. As to the newly added areas, the contractor was set to start at Stone Ridge yesterday. Unfortunately, they didn't kick it off just yet. They're working with Awasa to get a traveling water meter. They're hoping that sometime before the end of the week so they can kick it off. Again, we're in constant communications with them. They are under contract. They have 120 days to complete the project, so that clock is already ticking, and it has been ticking.
It started when, sorry?
About, yeah, I think it was like the first of the month. So they're already like 20 days in.
June 1st.
Yeah, so they're losing time. On the drainage side, we have an item to discuss Spring Glen in a bit on the Tierra Linda drainage ditch. As of last week, we know the council approved the interlocal with precinct 3 in the drainage district. We followed up with the drainage district. They said rather than go out for a third-party contractor, which we're concerned on the times, they're looking to do it in-house. If they do it in-house, obviously that saves us the time of the procurement process. They can do it pretty quickly. They couldn't give us a start date or a finish date yet, other than to say it is their priority, so we'll be updating that one periodically. The city's working on an informative flyer for the residents of Spring Glen and for the residents of Tierra Linda. The projects are different for their respective areas, and staff will be hand delivering those in English and Spanish by the end of the week. At our last meeting, we talked about how can we get the information out there. Not everybody has social media, not everybody uses Facebook or the internet or computer, so we'll be hand delivering those and knocking on doors. Business center, we know was complete, but what was pending was the south side behind the houses where the water collects by the ditch. We had a very good meeting this morning with Dr. Oreste at Irrigation District number 6. So much so that he actually sent a backhoe or a grader out there. So after lunch, they were already out there. I know the rain might have halted them a bit, but they expect to do that really quickly. What they're gonna do is completely regrade it, so the water flows from the back of their houses down to Benson, and then it goes south on Benson towards the canal. We'll be monitoring that as well, but that was the missing part for the business center group. Our drainage committee, they've reached out recently. We've talked to them. We're gonna meet next week. We're gonna convene that committee. That's something that we need to bring to our next agenda. We have Mayor Pro Tem Ms. Alexandra Flores on that committee. We had a fire commissioner, so we might want to add a backup for that drainage committee. As to streetlights, those are still pending. We did add, based on our last meeting, Frontier Drive as a result of the input we got at our last meeting. We've already requested the quote from AEP. And on the playground equipment, as we all know, that is complete. It's working, it's being utilized. A lot of good positive feedback. It looks really nice. Very appreciative from the community. So we're proud of that. We're waiting on estimates to show for a canopy on top to provide coverage, and not just for the kids playing, but for the equipment itself to increase the lifespan of that equipment. But it could be, $25,000 for the larger set, $18,000 for the smaller set. Once we have formal quotes, we'll bring those back to the council for consideration. And the Showers Road Splash Park, I know some of you have inquired on that. There was some vandalism done to some of the sensors, so the water sensors are not working right now. We've already put the rush order on that. We expect it within 2 weeks, or now another week. As soon as that comes in, they'll be able to install it, and we can open it up for the remainder of the summer. But that's all we have on the updates on the capital improvement project.
One more time, Mike, for the drainage districts, you said we were still gonna wait to see if they were gonna do it in-house or bid out. We didn't get a clear
They
response yet?
Not 100% clear, other than to say they are looking at doing it in-house, yes.
Okay.
They want to avoid having to go to a third-party contractor. However, they could not say, we're gonna do it and we're start on Monday. They haven't
Okay.
given us an official start date or an official complete date. So we are gonna have to keep checking with them periodically.
And we're gonna hand deliver, that information to those constituents, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
To the ones just on along the streets
Yeah.
that are affected by that.
Okay,
And,
thank you so much for that.
Mike, on the business center, did they say a timeline as far as when they'll start doing the canal? Is that what I heard? The canals on the site going all the way to Benson?
Yes, they started that this afternoon.
Oh, they started?
They were literally out there this afternoon. Again, I don't know if the rain interrupted them or not, but
Okay.
they had already cleaned it and they're gonna regrade it, put it back the way it was. There were some property owners throughout Business Center that were, they lifted their particular property so the water would just stall and
Yeah.
hit and then just kind of push back. So they wanna angle it on their property and on their easement to to go back the way it should be, all the way to Benson Road.
Gravity.
Okay?
And,
Then it goes south.
What about the starting of the streets, the paving and?
Again, it was supposed to be yesterday. They were having trouble getting a traveling water meter that they hook up usually to hydrants to get water for their project. We checked with them yesterday, again today. We met with them today, as a matter of fact. And, they're stating that they're still working with Awasad. Awasad was trying to find another meter for them, but that's the holdup right now.
All right. So this is a part of the capital?
Yeah, that was the CIP item.
I guess I
Oh,
would like.
no, this is for the next item, I'm sorry.
Okay, next item. Hey, and I know, capital including street paving, drainage. On the drainage, we're gonna bring that up also for our work session, right? All
Yes.
these three.
Yes,
All right, so just have a good comprehensive.
that's gonna be real in-depth.
Exactly.
Right now, we're trying to do an overview, but
That's
with
okay.
the
So
in-depth,
just-
we are gonna have the contractors also, we asked them to come on Thursday to talk about some of the challenges they've gone through to get us this far. That way we can try to learn from them, maybe moving forward, why was it delayed so long? So we were gonna start in March, and then April, then May, and here we are in June.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, the materials or, a lot of shipping and things of that nature. If they can fill us in, that way we can try to, we learn from that moving forward in the future, what do we need to do to make sure that we stay on top of those things? And then they wanna talk about construction in the areas and heavy truck traffic in the areas, and what are we gonna do on that road?
Do they have a date of completion, like 90 days from when they were supposed to, just have all that for us?
120 days, but yes.
Okay. So,
What about the lights, Michael? Did we ever get any of those replaced as they said they would in Tierra Linda?
Yes, as a matter of fact, on the street of Mazatlan, there are 4 streets.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, 4 lights. They brought us one here. We have one in our possession that we reserved for inspection and validation. 4 were put up yesterday. It didn't have a full day's worth of reserves yet, so we want to look at it tonight to see how it looks. Yesterday, even without a full reserve, without a full charge, they look pretty decent.
See?
But they're
I'll
on
swing by.
Mazatlan, so.
I'll swing by.
okay, any other questions? All right, good discussion. 8.5, discussion and possible action regarding the Spring Glen Drainage Improvement Plan.
Yes, Mayor, this one is important, and it's a big one, and it might be a tough one. So as you remember, we were waiting to meet with the drainage district. We said, we have a plan for Spring Glen. We want your input, and they said, we need time to look at it, and we want our engineers to run our models. It took them about 2 months, 2.5 months. Some of the residents of Spring Glen went to the drainage district board meeting, and they spoke in their open forum, and they were able to meet with them right after. And then so we called and follow up, and they said, oh, you know what, we're ready for you guys, let's meet next week. So we met, and they gave us their input. And their input is this: they concur that whatever we do on Spring Glen is not gonna be the biggest fix if it's still going to the same canal in the back, the same ditch in the back. So they wanna make improvements to that ditch. They don't have a lot of room to work with behind Spring Glen, so they wanna work with one of the property owners over there, buy some property from him. If you look at this layout here, buy that red piece right there, that thick part right there, and construct almost like a holding area, like a detention, almost like a detention pond. Have the water go in there, the excess water from Spring Glen, and then have it bleed out down south. They ran the models, and they have the skill that if you do this, your flooding will go down by 10 inches, by 12 inches. So this is a model that proves work effective for them. Timelines, though, is a concern. Commissioner Villarreal joined the call, and he said he is supporting the project 100%. They have a lot of projects. They're willing to put this one on first, but they're gonna go after a grant for this one because it's $1 million. That grant is a grant that we're going after for some of our drainage projects. It's a 2018 and 2019 GLO funding, but it's about a year turnaround. So the big fix, we wait a year, hope that it gets funded, and it's paid for by the grant of the precinct. What the precinct asked for, if it doesn't get funded, is the city willing to come up with some funds again and partner up with to do some of these projects. So that put it kind of back in our court, and we asked them, meanwhile, while we're there paving, if we do our street improvement projects that our engineer, or the drainage and projects that our engineer put together, are you guys okay with that? They said, we don't have an objection to it, just so you understand so your city council and the residents understand, and we've said this before, that's not the real big fix.
Well,
If it's still going to the same canal, that's where the challenge is. Yes, sir?
we're talking about $250,000 here.
Yes, So the question before the
And
council,
that concerns me, because if we're gonna just patch something up or just put a Band-Aid, that's an expensive Band-Aid, if you ask me. And I feel for these people at Spring Glen, they deserve better, there's no question in my mind about that, but this is a lot of money, and it's their money that we're looking at here. So, I mean, it's a tough one, you're right, these people deserve better. But if it's not gonna work, if the engineer is telling us and not guaranteeing that it's gonna be the big fix, like you said, and then you did. It's
I
something
would
that we
recommend-
need to really look at.
I would
carefully.
recommend I mean, we can't just make a decision right here, right now.
Right.
So it's a lot of money, let's table this item or postpone this item, take it to the workshop too, or we can spend more time, bring us everything. Put everything on the table there, and then we can come back and make a good, decision, a better decision.
What exactly is the plan with our engineers? So this plan was just to funnel the water to the canal in the back?
the same place that it goes right now.
Mhm.
Yes. Now, what they did propose is making the pipes bigger. There's some area right where you see, where it says Spring Branch, but that middle street, there's inlets on both sides of, Springland, and they go underneath, and they both go to the canal, the ditch in the back. What they called for is to increase that pipe to make it bigger and maybe add another one further down the street. They also, their plans called for redo all the swells and the culverts up and down Springland. If there's any houses that have driveways that don't have culverts, we would have to, tear up the driveway and put in new culverts to try to get the water to run faster to the middle where the pipes are. And again, make those pipes bigger, but they still connect to the same place. It still goes to the same place. And if there's no improvements to where it's going, it may not be effective.
And I'd recommend get the engineer, but let's get a second opinion from another, and we have a couple of engineers that work with us, 2 or 3. We got, Hosa, we got Milo Salinas also, works with Agua and us.
And
Get a
that would
couple
be,
of recommendations.
and that would be if even the owner even is in
Willing to
agreement
sell.
with selling, what if they
And
even
if-
deny?
And if we get that, if we're successful at
And the
Grant.
timeline, would that be?
grant,
What the timeline
Would
of
that canal could, instead of doing that ditch in the back in the red, just connect to that red and then let it bleed out the same way?
I think their main thing was, just like everything else nowadays, you have to have some on-site retention somewhere.
Yeah,
That's-
that-
Okay.
That's the way things are going.
that land that they wanna purchase is the only thing that, is probably the only way that it's going to be effective. And so, we gotta wait to see what, if the winner, if he's willing to sell, the owner's willing to budge on that, and then we gotta wait for the grant. And these people are desperate, and I understand, and I feel for these people, but at the same token, if it's not gonna be effective, then they're gonna be very upset.
Yeah. So either way, regardless, they're the top of the list whenever there's flooding or there's heavy rains.
get
We're there
help,
on
yes.
site to,
I agree with that.
But one thing, we went out there this last time, and Commissioner Hernandez was there as well, pumping with his truck. And as soon as the water stopped, the system actually started to work, where you see the water going down the inlets. And we discussed that with the drainage district, and I'm sure y'all seen the improvements they're doing over there in
the
Mission with
east.
Inspiration.
yes.
They're making huge improvements.
And that's what's helped us.
Yes, it's helped us over here.
Right.
We're like, we're not doing anything here. However, all our water goes over there.
Right.
So if that's increased, it's going down faster, so.
Correct.
We did see the benefit in that, or the impact of that.
Rudy, help with those 2 or 3 extra engineers, help Mr. Leo, or get Richard to help
We'll discuss
too.
it more on Thursday, you said? Okay.
So we're
Maybe
gonna
we don't
take-
need a lot of those to work, maybe if, it would be a lot less if we have one pipe going out there instead of 2, because here it has 2 pipes, right, going, 2 inlets. So, based on that improvement, we could actually just have some modifications on that. I guess we need more information and, different options before we commit to anything that, high cost,
So I recommend what would be the proper word? Postpone, delay, table?
No action.
table the item. Do I have a motion?
Motion to table the item.
Mr. Garcia and Ms. Flores,
No action?
no action, or?
No, rather table it, because you're gonna continue discussing
Right.
it, so it'll come back to you at some point.
Table.
I'll second
We
Mr. Garcia's.
we got a motion, a second. Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. 8.5, discussion of possible action regarding this, hold on, we just did that. 8.6, discussion of possible action to renew medical director contract 2022-2023 for EMS services. Staffed by, fire department.
Good evening, Mayor. I'm sorry. Hello, mic check.
You're good, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Since our medical director's on an annual contract, his contract comes up on, June the 28th for formal renewal. So before you, staff's recommending to keep our current medical director since we've worked with him since the inception of our service, and he's really familiar with us, and we're very familiar with him, I should say. And, also his wife, because they're both MDs and they're both ER MDs. Our staff's, very comfortable with them and vice versa, so
I so move to approve.
there's no
I'll second it.
change on terms or anything, it's just the same,
Same thing?
same thing.
I'll second.
So this is like a requirement of the
It is required
emergency
because, so
medical?
we operate under his license.
Oh, I
Motion
see.
and second, we got questions
Does
required?
does he have to come in and check how how it's operating, who we have
Correct,
on
right, that's,
staff?
correct,
Make
that's
sure
why we
everybody's
do
credentials are
our,
up to
we
date?
do our in-house training with him,
Okay,
things of that nature, and so.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. 8.7, thank you, Chief. That's another one here. Discussion of possible action to approve payment, City of Mercedes Fire Department EMS for regional
So move for approval.
paramedic
Second.
services. Got a motion and a second. Questions?
Well, can we hear a little bit about it?
Sure, so, 5 months ago, the county judge, reached out to all the, fire-based EMS services / municipal, and those that are going into it so Edinburgh's a part of this program, because they're looking into going into it as well. And the county judge was concerned about the lack of paramedics on the street. So he looked into ARPA funds, right, to be able to put towards this program, to partner with the city. So the county agreed to pay for actually half of the course, and that medical center is paying for all the textbooks. So the cost per student is roughly about $1,416 per student, when normally it's closer to about $7,000 per student. So we're getting a really good deal on this, and we're sending 3. That would put 3 more paramedics into our department. So
Great.
they're in-house, right? So they're gonna move up
Oh, okay,
that level.
good.
So
From Mercedes?
so Mercedes is like the host department, since State Representative Mando Martinez operates out of Mercedes and Wesco, so he kind of helped us out with TEKS through the Texas A&M system. So Texas A&M is actually putting on the course, and he was able to facilitate that through his office. So Mercedes is kind of like the host city per se, so everybody's paying them.
Okay.
The county, us, FAR, Wesco, Mission, and Edinburgh as well. So
What's the fee? Just,
it's in the backup, ma'am, the breakdown.
oh, the blue one. No, not that one. I don't think I have that one.
Well, it's 1,000.
fine.
Yeah, so the total cost of the whole course itself is close to about $50,000. But our portion of it is 1,426 per student times 3, which is right
Okay.
about 4,700, something like that.
See.
It's gonna be 6 months. So they start on August the 1st, and they complete it on January the 2nd. And the state representative did want for us to bring up to each council, they wanna have something at that medical center to make this like a public thing, because this is a first of its kind, and not only in the county, but in the region, for you have so many cities getting together to do this with the county as a partnership. It doesn't happen like
See.
at all, so they wanted to have like this big type of
Like
pre-
a ceremony?
like a press release kind of thing.
Oh,
So as
okay.
soon as that information is obtained, I'll be passing on to Mr. Leo to pass on to you all. So,
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief. 8.8, discussion and possible action to authorize Mr. Leo to accept the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority Auxiliary Grant for license plate readers and approval of resolution for the same.
So move approval.
Second.
Motion, second. Questions?
For the record, it's a license plate readers for $20,000 with a $4,000 match from the city.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Leo. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. 8-9, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution providing for the appointment of 2 members to the Planning and Zoning Board, staffed by, Planning and Zoning Department.
Mayor and City Council, yes, the 2 terms for Ms. Marisela Martinez and Mr. Joel Mendiola will end on June 25th. And they have expressed interest to continue serving on the Planning and Zoning Board. So we're bringing this.
I want to make a
item up
motion
for-
to
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
recommend them as,
I'll
for
second
the
that.
next. Okay.
Okay.
Both of them recommend?
Yes.
Both.
Okay.
Motion is second to continue with both, as mentioned. Questions?
What was the name of the second? Individual?
Marisela Martinez and Joel Mendiola.
Good thing to have experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. Yes.
Okay. Very good. Thank you to them and for their service and continuing to express interest in serving.
Thank you.
Any other input? Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. 8-10, discussion and possible action to approve capital improvement program 2023 through 27, staffed by Mr. Leo.
Mayor, there should be a booklet here on your desk here. This is a work in progress that we get the input from council through our workshops over the last year. Where do we want to focus our major projects, our priorities? This last year, council has put a focus on street paving projects and drainage projects, and then the park improvements as well. So a lot of the first 2 pages are informational, but the numbers are in the back. Again, this is in accordance with council has agreed, the money that we borrowed last year for the street and drainage projects, the money that we borrowed to move forward with the sanitation project, the trucks for the sanitation, and all the associated costs that go with them. Some of the other items are needs that the departments have put
I
together.
want to make a motion to approve.
Second.
CIP.
Okay, motion second. Any other questions,
We're
input?
gonna be diving this in our budget workshops, when we talk about numbers and stuff, that's when we're really gonna dive into it.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. So we take this one to the meeting?
Yes.
Do you want us to leave it here?
Leave it here now.
All right, you want, yeah, we'll bring it.
We'll spend extra money. Item 80, discussion and possible,
There are no salary increases, this just allows us to pursue a finance director and a sanitation supervisor.
Make a motion.
Second.
motion, I'll take Mr. Ramirez second. Questions?
It was already in the budget, correct?
Yes,
To
we
do
work
this?
within the budget. This is not hiring anybody yet, we're gonna go through that process, but this allows to fund the position. We're using the assistant city manager position that we had from before and funds that we have from our enterprise fund. We're gonna still revisit the topic of the assistant city manager position. We had good responses. We had about 15 responses, very qualified candidates. However, once we told them what the salary was, it was just, okay, it was, wasn't in their range of what they're looking for, so we're gonna have to have a workshop and discuss that. But more importantly, this allows.
We'll take care of that at the workshop, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we had a motion, a second. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. And if there's any recommendations, in regards to any of these, the time would be at the workshop. We got a gentleman retiring also, and we need public works, a lot of help out there.
Where do we post our positions, Michael?
On the website, on social media, usually through Facebook and on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay, monthly departments, updates or reports, anything out of the ordinary there, Mike?
No, not right now.
Okay,
Can
How are we
have-
doing, I just have a question. How are we doing in the monthly collections for the
trash,
trash?
What do you guys think to that?
I know I paid a late fee, so.
Continue.
We're doing good then.
Yeah, approximately about 80% is where we're at, on collections. I think we have delivered notices for them to, come and pay. But I think we're at a point where we need to start, picking up trash cans.
Fining?
Once we pick up a trash can, they would be out of, compliance with the ordinance, and then that's where the fine would come in. But, we've left, several notices, and we've gotten some people coming in, but the majority aren't.
That was my question. I mean, as long as they're informed,
If they're informed,
you know,
Yes.
that, you know, they're not paying and what will happen upon, you know, if it continues, then yeah. And if we can get like a verbal confirmation, because I know it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of your time, but it avoids, you know, upset customers,
Sure.
upset
Sure,
people,
no, we would have to,
knock on their door, say,
try and not, yes.
you
try and
know.
contact people.
yes, yes.
Yes, so,
and just to be, I guess it was some, they picked up the wrong trash can. We haven't picked up any trash cans yet, or have we?
no, we haven't.
We
I
haven't?
think there might have been a mistake once on, the Republic side when they were, one resident,
Oh.
requested to cancel the bin, but they
Oh,
picked up the
okay,
wrong
but it
one.
was not due to.
No,
the
not due to
non-payment.
non-payment or
Yeah,
anything.
we're gonna have to just, you know, be a little bit, because 80%, are we okay with the payments though?
Yes.
Because we reduced our expenses by not going through a third party, we saved dramatically, so
So
that
we're
offsets.
still
yeah.
okay, but we still need to make sure that
Yes.
we have that,
We need to
and
recover
just
that.
monitor that as we.
Both Rudy's department and Public Works is looking at ideas that we want to present at a workshop, maybe not Thursday, but at a workshop soon. And then whoever we find for sanitation, we've already been asking, what would you do if you were, you know, in this position? We're getting ideas from what other cities doing, so we'll have something to present again at a.
So we're gonna kind of like develop some contingencies or something to that effect?
And most likely it's
Because-
gonna be basically picking up
Right.
cans. I think they've already started giving notices to, and late notices and
Yes.
warn them that, hey, if you don't pay, this is gonna happen.
Yes.
So that's gonna be
Sí.
the next step, the enforcement.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you.
Rudy, anything else that you have for us? No?
No.
Okay.
How are the permits coming along? Permits.
Well,
Building.
this year, this month, last year was, 14,000 and this year was 27.
For what?
So,
For what was that?
for permits,
Doubled.
we have been getting a lot of permits coming in,
Contract.
there's a lot of,
Construction going on,
construction
right?
going on, yes.
That's good.
So we're collecting also the wastewater connections, the empty lot connections, so we are collecting more with more work
Part of the
going
growth.
along with it, so.
Part of the growth.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have Public Works here?
You have to leave early, they had a family event.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'd like all of these to give a good report on Thursday, right? In depth. Okay, so we got next item here, 10. Does it have to be an executive session? Could we do it out here in open session? Mr.
Check what?
Yeah.
Payment of invoice now,
Yeah.
so it's-
It's outside.
There's a small piece to it that is gonna be potential litigation. But I would defer to counsel.
I'm not sure what the issue is, but if you think it is, then I'll defer to closed session if we need to.
I'm just asking, you know? Because you guys are in secrecy over there.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was out.
It's because the empty lots is always.
Yeah, so there is
a
an
little
issue to
problem
discuss that should be discussed. in
Okay,
closed session.
so at 7:09, we are going to be going into executive session. Do I have a motion?
So move.
I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Going into executive session pursuant Texas Government Code. Hold on, before I read it, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. We are going into executive session pursuant Texas Government Code 551071, 551072, 551073, 551074, 551076, and 551087. We'll be back shortly. Thank you. I gave the time already. So,